If you guys are fired up about Mike Vrabel finally being the new head coach in New England, do one thing for me. Spam 50 in the comment section down below. Allie, why 50? Is that how old Mike Vrabel is? I don't know. I don't actually know how old Mike Vrabel is, but I do know he wore number 50 on his jersey when he played for New England back in the early 2010s. So give him some love, put 50 in the comment section, and let's talk about who his next offensive coordinator could be. Who's going to be the new OC? Alex Van Pelt did unfortunately get fired very shortly after Jerod Mayo got the boot after Sunday's win last week. Now Mike Vrabel, the new head coach, so we're going to be looking for his right-hand man. Number one, you got to think about who's going to be the best successor for Drake Maye. How is he going to look at his sophomore season? Who is going to find the right calls and the right skills to pair with Drake Maye? That's my first and foremost. Secondly, is there an offensive coordinator that could possibly bring in some top free agents? Maybe even cook up a trade. Bring some help in to New England because we know we really don't have a top target and we definitely don't have an offensive line. So with those things in mind, we're going to break down some offensive candidates that Mike Vrabel could hire. So before we jump into that, obviously have to ask you guys, who should Vrabel hire as the Patriots OC? Go on ahead, comment that down below. I also want to give you guys a little bit of inside information, not with the offensive coordinator, but we do know that Mike Vrabel had recently said that he'd be looking to Ryan Cowden to bring in work somewhat in the front office for New England, but then in his press conference, he really reiterated that he liked working with Eliot Wolf and his staff. So now the recent report here is that the Giants are allowing executive advisor to the GM, Ryan Cowden, out of his current deal, and he is expected to join the Patriots front office under Eliot Wolf. So looks like Eliot Wolf is going to stick around, but nothing is finalized. But the former Titans executive will soon reunite with Mike Vrabel. So definitely something to keep an eye on moving forward. All right, let's hop in the offensive coordinators. Obviously, Josh McDaniels. I don't know if I'm ever going to make a candidacy video and not put Josh McDaniels in it. We obviously know that Josh McDaniels had success in New England as the offensive coordinator with Tom Brady. He also worked side by side with Mike Vrabel, but Vrabel was still a coach, and Josh McDaniels is still finding his footing in New England. So, Allie, why do you keep bringing up Josh McDaniels? Well, a lot of reports and a lot of sources are saying McDaniels is definitely in the mix to be the next offensive coordinator, or I guess I should say OC again in New England. And we understand that with Josh McDaniels, there is success to be had in the OC department. There is not success to be had in the HC department. Obviously, he recently got fired from the Las Vegas Raiders job before last season, and since then, he's just kind of been meandering around. But Rob Gronkowski, a former player for McDaniels as the OC in New England, thinks this is the right move. And I do agree with Rob. If I'm Mike Vrabel, the first thing I would do is call up and dial the number of Josh McDaniels, a familiar face to Patriots fans, and hire him as the OC as soon as possible. And it makes a lot of sense because when you're looking at a guy that's been right next to Vrabel throughout his career, you see Josh McDaniels there. 2001, Vrabel played, McDaniels was the personal assistant, and then he played again in 2003 where McDaniels was the defensive assistant, so he got to work on the defensive side of the ball. But after that 2003 year, he kind of transitioned back over to offense and never really looked back. Then he started spending some time as a quarterback coach, and then he moved on to OC and quarterback coach for New England in 2008. And of course, he came back in 2012 through 2019. He has spent numerous years with the New England Patriots. Several different quarterbacks. Hell, he even made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler. So if he can do that, I can only imagine what he can do with Drake Maye. So let's throw it back a couple of years, back to the Mac Jones era. 2021, the Patriots offense averaged the sixth most points per game, 27.2. Right now, the New England Patriots are the last place in that category at 17 points a game. That's a 10-point difference. Josh McDaniels, he knows how to do one thing. He knows how to score. And I do think that he is going to cook up a phenomenal playbook to go alongside Drake Maye. And I do think it would be new and fresh ideas, but I do always have that thought in the back of my mind where I'm like, All right, I've seen these plays before. I've seen this repertoire before. So if McDaniels comes back, I need this to be a modern day Josh McDaniels, not a 2008 McDaniels, because football has been very, very, very different since then. So I have this question for you guys. Obviously, we all know Josh McDaniels. We've seen the success come from his time in New England. Is McDaniels the best hire for New England right now? Comment why not. Maybe you want somebody different. Maybe you want outside perspective. Maybe you just want to start over new, or vice versa. You don't want outside perspective. You want Josh McDaniels. Put it in the comment section down below. Let me go ahead and tell you guys real quick about Game Time, our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. The only way I get tickets to any event that requires a ticket upon entry, I'm using Game Time. Why? Because it is the lowest price guarantee. Your girl spends her weekends couponing now. Thank you, 26. So if you guys want to save some money, all you have to do is download Game Time, and you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed. Not to mention you're going to get all-in pricing. You'll see the total up front, no surprises at checkout. And my favorite feature is the fact that you can see the view from your seat in the app before you buy. Nice little panoramic 180 view. Make sure you guys aren't sitting behind a pole. Make sure you guys aren't too close to the men's restroom. Or make sure you're not so far away you can't even see the numbers on the jersey. But with Game Time, they always make sure that you get the best price on the best seat using Game Time picks. They filter out all the fluff to make sure you get tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. If you guys want to go ahead and get started, all you have to do is download the Game Time app, use promo code ChatSports. That'll give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, use promo code ChatSports, ChatSports for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. Let's throw this name at you, Nick Caley. You guys might have heard of him before. Why? Because the Patriots tried to hire him last offseason. Instead, obviously, Alex Van Pelt was hired. He is currently the Rams tight end coach working with Sean McVay, and he does have a little bit of say in play calling in Los Angeles. So now knowing a little bit here about Nick Caley, number one, anybody working with Sean McVay is good at offense. That's pretty much written in stone. Because Sean McVay is one of the most innovative play callers in the NFL, and right now, his offense is year in and year out established. So anybody working on the same roster as a guy like Sean McVay is going to know how to have this modern-day offensive approach to the NFL. And we do know that he did work for the Patriots as he was building his way up the tower. He worked as a Patriots personnel, off and on, tight ends coach, quarterback coach, the whole nine. So he has been in the Patriots franchise in one way or another for quite some time. 2015 to 2022, he's a guy that knows the ins and the outs of the program. And knowing that they offered him a pretty hefty contract last year, $3 million. And he ended up still staying in Los Angeles and working with Sean McVay and the Rams. Makes me wonder if now he's ready to take that next step and come work with a guy like Mike Vrabel. Phil Perry tweeted this out here in January last year, a year ago, that he spent last year under Sean McVay and had an opportunity to learn more about his West Coast-inspired offense up close. He knows Mayo from his time in Foxborough. Remember? Jerod Mayo? Yeah, he played for New England too. He knows the Crafts was a logical choice to become the Patriots OC in 2022, now has a chance at the role 2 years later. He denied the job last year. Now, if Robert Kraft and Elliott Wolf want to make that opportunity happen again, I think Caley might be a little bit more interested now to work with Mike Vrabel and to work with Drake Maye. When you bring a guy like Nick Caley in, he's going to bring a modern approach to this offense. If there was one thing we saw from AVP, in my opinion, I don't think that his play calling abilities fit well with Drake Maye. I wanted to see more quarterback design runs. I wanted to see more RPO. But with Alex Van Pelt, it was the same mold. Take the snap, hand off, Mondre Stevenson, tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Take the snap, throw it, 7 yards, Demario Douglas. I wanted a little bit more of an innovative play caller. I wanted something spicy out of the playbook. And I think a guy from the West Coast, the Rams, playing in the playoffs today, could bring something a little extra to New England. But if anything does happen with the offensive coordinator, I will talk about it right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We went live when Vrabel got hired. We could go live. The OC gets hired very soon. But nonetheless, I want you guys to join over 20,000 subscribers here on this channel. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me. While you guys are at it, might as well ask this question. Would Vrabel and McDaniels be a refurbished product? And what I mean by that is, would we see the same thing that we have already seen? Would it just be the same product, you just kind of shined it up a little bit? Or would bringing in somebody like Nick Caley really make this flourish and bring in something brand new, shiny to New England and to this offensive production? That is what I'm asking. Type Y for yes, type N for no. The only thing I don't want is to sit down next year with Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel as the head coach and the OC and just say, you know what? This is kind of tired. I've seen this before, whether it was in Tennessee, whether it was in Las Vegas. I don't think it will, but just go on ahead and comment down below. Last but not least, surprise, Alex Van Pelt. Should we bring him back just for old time's sake? Hey, I hope you had a great 1-week vacation. Want to come back and try this shit again? Ultimately, the reason why I do bring up Alex Van Pelt is I do think it is a name we should at least give a consideration to. And by we, I mean us here at Patriots Today by Chat Sports, because before you get in the comment section and unfollow me, I understand that Alex Van Pelt was not the best offensive coordinator for the Patriots at the time. At the time being last week. But overall, we do know that Drake Maye and a lot of offensive players had a very, very, very good relationship with Alex Van Pelt. So maybe now having Mike Vrabel in the driver's seat, adding a little bit more discipline, adding a little bit more structure, maybe just amping up the level of play that New England was missing could make AVP a better OC. Drake Maye loved working with Alex Van Pelt. He defended him time and time again. Not just him. Austin Hooper got brought in he came to New England because Alex Van Pelt was coming here. And we do know that with AVP and his tenure and his timeline and his resume can pair very well with a guy like Mike Vrabel because they do tend to have ties, because Alex Van Pelt also worked under Kevin Stefanski. Well, Mike Vrabel most recently did work out with the Cleveland Browns this last year. So now knowing that AVP and Vrabel may have a little bit of that connection, maybe it's worth a phone call? Ultimately, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that's the best option for New England moving forward. But I did want to make it at least a consideration just because we're not players. And I don't have the mind of a player. But if I hear time and time and time again the same guys defending their OC, maybe it's worth recalling them, saying, what really happened? And now that we have a new head coach, would you be interested? So, with that being said, now it's your turn. You want McDaniels, type MC. You want Nick Caley, type NC. You want AVP back? I don't think there's going to be a lot of AVPs out there, and I understand why. But go on ahead and comment AVP. As always, anything happens, you'll find it right here. Hit that sub button.